It's been a while since I've covered a collectible mystery on the channel, but after another relentless search, I thought it was time to share my struggle with my viewers, because this mystery is a personal piece of lost media that's been bugging me for years. In my 12 years of being a Nintendo and Sonic collector, I've come across a bevy of various pictures and information regarding prototypes or unreleased products. Most of the time though, these images circulate the community and are well documented. But sometimes they don't, and it leaves you and you alone to hunt for something that most people probably haven't seen and have no idea exists. Our collectible mystery originates from the Metroid series, which did not receive a lot of merchandise in the mid to late 2000s despite its popularity. Unfortunately for me, this is when my Metroid fandom was at its peak, as I started playing Prime in middle school and became obsessed with the series. I wanted to collect Metroid merchandise and scour the internet for anything I could find. At the time, the Joyride Studios figure and the Toy Site bobblehead were really the only physical items you could buy. The Zero Mission DX figure existed, but was extremely rare, and First 4 Figures had just started releasing the first promotional pictures for their statues. And that was it. Disappointed, I wanted more, and that's when I stumbled upon the mystery. While I was hunting for all this Metroid stuff, as well as Mario and anything else I wanted back in the day, there were a handful of sites I used to frequent. One of my favorite sites was called NCSX, who was an import shop that had lots of video game related toys, like the Sonic X UFO sets and Mario Sofubi figures. The site still exists today, but they don't import as many toys as they used to, and almost all of their old products are out of stock. But back in the late 2000s, this place was great. The year had to have been 2009 or 2010. I searched Metroid just to see what I'd find, and that's when I saw it. It was a pre-order page for an upcoming Samus Mini-Mate styled figure, based on her appearance in Metroid Fusion. The image itself didn't display the actual product, but rather a 2D mock-up of the front and back of the figure placed over the Japanese box art of Metroid Fusion. Additionally, the listing had no information about a release or price, just that NCSX would update it depending on what the manufacturer would tell them. I thought it was really weird to see a Metroid Fusion figure coming out in the late 2000s when the game came out in 2002. I didn't hold my breath for its release, but I kept checking back occasionally to see if it ever went on sale. After a while, the page was updated again to state that the product had been cancelled by the manufacturer and it would not be releasing. Despite this, the product listing stayed up for years before it was taken down when I eventually thought to save the image. And to this day, I've never been able to find that image again. I've never even seen this figure mentioned elsewhere online, and even back in the day, I never saw this image on any other site besides NCSX. And this is where the mystery begins. What the heck was this figure, who made it, why did it exist, and why was it cancelled? Now I know what you're thinking at this point. LSuperSonicQ, this is just a false memory, it doesn't exist. And while normally I'd agree with you, one of the reasons why this is so vivid in my mind is because of how invested I was in Metroid at the time. When I saw this for the first time, it was so unique looking and something I really wanted to add to my collection that it stuck with me. Additionally, I can't believe the case for it being a custom or fake, because NCSX is an actual import shop that receives products and information from manufacturers. They aren't a small shop that made their own listing or got their products secondhand. This was the real deal. As for the details of the figure itself, I can't recall much about it factually. From what I can remember, it looked very much like a Mini-Mate figure, but I have no idea if it actually was a Mini-Mate or some kind of copycat brand. It was definitely of Japanese origin, and it was definitely from Fusion. But even back then I was confused why a Fusion figure existed so long after the game's release. For the record, I actually have no idea how long that listing had been sitting there before I found it, but I know the product itself was cancelled in the late 2000s. Now obviously I wouldn't be making this video if I had found an image or at least some kind of details about it, but believe me, I've tried. I emailed NCSX directly about it, but never got a response back, and I looked through their product archives looking for anything Metroid they listed, but I only found the games and First 4 Figure statues. I gave way back a shot, but the site is not backed up very well, and I came up empty-handed. At this point in the search, I'm out of leads or places where I thought the image may have been online. There were some Metroid collectors in the video game memorabilia scene back in the day when I first saw this, so there's a chance someone out there may have saved the image. At any rate, if it ever shows up, it'll be interesting to reverse image search it and see if it actually appeared on any other websites, as well as being able to see exactly who made it, when, and really what it was supposed to be. But until that image resurfaces, the Metroid Fusion Mini-Mate figure will remain a mystery.